Port Vale were beaten 4-1 at home to Oldham to stretch their poor run to one league win in 9 games and prompt speculation about manager Neil Aspin's future. Here's what our fans panel made of it. Phil Sherwin, from Burslem, it seemed a game of two halves. I thought we played quite well in the first half and were on top when they scored, but we got back into it with Ben Whitfield's equaliser before halftime. But then it was as though something changed in both dressing rooms. They came out and wiped the floor with us in the second half, one of the worst halves we have played for a long time. I thought Ben Whitfield did well in the first half and livened us up a bit. We were pushing and had a few chances in that first half, but as for the second half, oh dear. It's dreadful. Port Vale 1, Oldham 4, no excuses. Neil Aspin on home defeat. You don't get long these days, and plenty of managers have lost their jobs with better records than Neil. We are actually 3 points worse off than we were at the same stage last season. Last year through we then went on a dreadful run in January and ended up going 14 games without a win. We certainly can't afford to do that again. Rob Reed, from Maybank. I sat in the car before the match and hoped that there would be something positive to write about. There was a dim spark when Ben Whitfield equalised, but that was it. Once Oldham took the lead for the second time, there was no sign that the Vale would come back, and you could see the confidence draining away. Sky Bet EFL League 2, Port Vale v Oldham Athletic. Tom Pope is muscled out by Oldham's Peter Clark. He may have done okay in an emergency last season, but he is not a fullback. We had one on the bench, but Aspin won't play him. He says he hasn't favourites and he bears no grudges, but the evidence is to the contrary. Surely the priority in the transfer window for the Vale manager, whoever that might be, is a midfielder who can win a tackle and pass the ball. We were well beaten by an average Oldham side and seemed to be on a downward trajectory, much the same as last season. These are Aspin's players. They don't appear to be any better than the ones he inherited. Port Vale 1, Oldham 4, no excuses. Neil Aspin on home defeat. Andrew Blakemore, from Denford. Well, it's Groundhog Day again. Another desperately disjointed and poor performance from Port Vale. Changes are needed, and it stems from the top, and I don't just mean the manager, who I have said several times is out of his depth. Can Norman be trusted to make a good managerial appointment if Aspin is relieved of his duties or walks away? Probably not. But at present, with Aspin at the helm, we will be a National League team by next season. This isn't a knee-jerk reaction. We've all suffered enough of this rubbish for too long. I actually thought the first half we didn't do too badly. Oldham looked an average side and the game was probably fair to be a draw. But that second half has summed up this 2018 for Port Vale. It was abysmal. No player seems to know what they are doing. Displays like today will drive hundreds off the gate. It will be interesting to see if the club announce the early bird season ticket offer in the next week. And just the simple task of table-topping Lincoln on Tuesday. God help us.